I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to the Sweetwater Minute. This week on the Sweetwater Minute, we are joined by dUg Pinnick.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in, man.
Hey.
Appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here.
So what brings you to Sweetwater?
It's a clinic, a recording clinic, and I was asked to play bass in the clinic, and I said, yeah, it'll be fun, and
nice.
I can't wait to get in there and start working on it.
Right, so you've been up here for a few days, or you got here yesterday?
Got here last night, yeah.
Right, going to be here for a few days.
A few days.
Right,
Your beautiful town of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah, well you're from not too far from here, right?
Yeah,
Over
Joliet, Illinois,
right.
Chicago.
The Chicago area, right,
Chicago,
so about 3 hours away.
Uh-huh.
Right, a little ways away.
But no, well, originally from there. I'm living in LA now.
Okay, right. So growing up in Chicago, the Chicago area, how did you get started playing bass?
I was 23 and I wanted to play bass so bad all my life, and a friend of mine just said to me, why don't you buy a bass? And it didn't occur to me. I'm 23 years old. Just all you got to do is go. I mean, duh. Sometimes I'm spaced out and I just live in my little world, and that some things aren't reality to me, even though they should be. So that woke me up. But I still didn't buy a bass. About a month later, my best friend bought a bass for his girlfriend for Christmas, and he came by and said, "Here, play this one for a while, Doug, and I'll get it for Christmas get it back for you from Christmas." And he came 3 times to get it, and I told him no. No. So the last time he said, forget it, and he just
never got the bass back?
Oh, nice. Actually, I talked to him about a year ago, and he said, yeah, I just figured I just couldn't break your heart, so I just let you keep it, because he didn't even tell me I could keep it.
Oh, nice.
I just kind of didn't talk about it.
So did he get another present for his girlfriend?
I don't even know. I honestly don't know. That was a long time ago.
That's an awesome story. That's awesome. So you said you had always wanted to play bass. What was it that attracted you to playing bass? What drew you to that?
You know, I honestly don't know. Somebody said to me, psychologically, it's when you're a child in your mother's womb, you hear the heartbeat. And, you know, they say there's a comfort there. And maybe that's what it was, you know.
Right.
So I'm not sure. My mom left me when I was 3, and so that might have been a psychological thing that I needed that. But I remember when I was 5, it was 1955, and Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers had this song called Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Sure.
Old 78. And I remember when my cousin put that record on, that bass part. And I can hum that bass line to you, the whole song, and I memorized it as a little child. And from that point on, I was just like, bass just did something for me. I didn't realize there was anything else. I listen to old music now and go, I didn't know that guitar part was there. I didn't know that drummer was doing that. I never even listened to him. It was all the bass. Didn't care about anything else. See, it was an obsession. But hey, I made a living out of it.
Yeah, nice. So once you started playing, did it come to you quickly, or was it something where you were taking a while to develop with it? Or?
No, I played bass in my head all my life, and I had my broom, and I'd run around the house, and I was left-handed, and I always played it left-handed for some reason, the broom, even though I never picked up an instrument ever. I had never seen a real bass until I was, you know, a teenager, I guess. When my friend brought me the bass, I hooked it up, and I had a little amp, and he brought me, and he showed me how to tune it, and I remember I put on Buddy Miles' Express. It was the song is called Joe Tex, and it went. You can't hear it, but and I remember it went and went, where's it? And when I got to the last, I went, oh my God, I'm playing! I just got so excited. From that point on, I don't remember learning, I don't remember sucking, I don't remember any of it because I didn't care.
Right.
But I remember I was singing in a band for about 6 months and the bass player quit. And the guitar player says, we gotta find a new bass player. I go, well, I can play, because I'd been playing maybe for 6-7 months. He goes, Doug, you're not good enough. And I went, huh? Oh, okay. And I went home and just kept on playing. It didn't even faze me. I didn't even know it, didn't care. I was just so focused on playing it, and I loved every moment of it. And even to this day, you know, whatever I'm doing, somebody has to tell me it sucks. Because I'm just so much having fun, I don't know. And they have told me it sucks.
Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it. So you began playing in bands around Midwest, doing some touring?
Yeah. Well, basically singing more than anything, because I was known as a singer in my area. But then when I started playing bass, I joined up with a buddy of mine. We moved to Florida, and we got in a car wreck, and he got a settlement and bought me my first Fender P bass.
Oh, okay.
And from that point on, it was nonstop.
No stop, right?
Yeah, and so you know, I've been in a couple bands here and there, and then when I joined up with King's X or started King's X, it was 1980, so I've been in with King's X for 30 years, I guess.
Yeah, right, quite a while.
Yeah.
Right. But you played with Phil Keaggy, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Also, how did that come about?
You know, Greg Voles from Petra asked me to join Petra back in '79, and so I said, okay, sure. I thought, get out of Joliet, and you know, I'm just playing in a garage band and thinking, oh, I made the big time. I finally did it, you know.
Right.
And I moved to Springfield, Missouri, and when I got there, Greg said the band broke up. We're not going to play.
Oh man.
And I'm going, what am I going to do? And he says, well, I've been hanging out with Phil Keaggy. He wants to put a band together. And so we started rehearsing with Phil, and we did almost 9-10 months, I think, maybe a year with him. And then he moved on, and Jerry and I, that's where I met Jerry, our drummer in King's X. We stuck together, and we met Ty later on, maybe a year later. And the three of us had played with each other in different ways, in different little things in Missouri for maybe a year or so, you know. And then one day we just said, hey, let's play. We had another guitar player at the time, and he quit. Then we got another guitar player, and he quit. And both of them said they just never felt a part of the three-piece. There was some magic between us that we didn't know, but other people saw it. And they had both of them said, you know, you guys are better off without me. And I'm going, oh. And we were sad that they left, but here we are.
Right. Well, the three of you gelled so well together.
Yeah.
You know, and complement each other, and really form, you know, a real strong whole as a group. And one of the things I think that really drives that is you're a very groove-oriented bass player. Is that something you've always focused on? Is playing more of that kind of thing?
I've been playing the same groove all my life, in my head, or when I picked up a bass, it was no problem. It's like. And it's kind of like a repetition of the way I play, but I love soul music, and I love bass players who lay a groove down, and I love, you know, like Santana, Soul Sacrifice, the bass line, dun, 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 for 10 minutes, give it to me. Right. That's all. I mean, stand in front of my rig and just play two notes and control the band with how aggressive you play it, how you can back it up, everybody will come down, you can play hard, everybody, I mean, bass controls everything, if you know, if you really know your bass.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, some bass players just play bass, and then there's other bass players who it's their life. You know, it's a whole different thing, and you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You know, in their tone and the way they play, the way they sing their notes. You know, you know, like when I play, I kind of play like a guitar. I shake my strings a little bit. It gives it personality. The tone I use has its own voice, and it seems like everything in music has a voice but the bass. The bass doesn't have that distinct. It's just a thud in the background. But it's an aggressive instrument, and there's so much you can do with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you don't have that, though, with your playing. When your playing is very distinctive. It's not just a thud in the background.
Oh, no, well.
You know, it's like you said, it's the foundation for the band, but also a lot of the drive of the dynamics and things comes from that as well. So, it's, a very important part of what's going on there. You mentioned that you're really into soul music and groove and things, but of course the music that you're known for is on the heavier side of things. What's drawn you over toward that more aggressive style?
Well, I mean, I grew up listening, I mean, it was Stax Volt and Motown in my teenager years, Aretha Franklin, the Atlantic stuff. So Chuck Rainey was a bass player, and Jamie Jamerson and all those people, so that's all I heard, even though I wasn't playing bass. Those are the bass lines I heard with Stevie Wonder and all those things. But I was going to college, and a friend of mine came by. He would pick me up, this white kid. He would pick me up and take me to school, and one day he brought by Led Zeppelin 2. It was 1971, I guess it was, right when the record came out. I put it on, and I heard dun 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 dun, and the first thing I thought was Booker T and the MGs with no keyboards. I was in, because Booker T played, you know, Steve Cropper and Donald Duck. They used to play the riffs together. They're the only band that did that back in the 60s. Everybody else just played chords, but these guys played, the guitar player played the bass line. I loved that, and Hendrix did it too, and that's what drew me to him. And when Led Zeppelin did it, it was right. You know, I loved it, and from that point on, it was rock and roll. And then I heard Yes, Fragile, Roundabout, the bass line. When I heard that bass line and the tone, in the way Chris Squire played, and the groove that he had, but how complicated he could play, but yet he could leave wide open spaces. And no other bass player was doing that. It was so unique to me, and so he's been my prototype ever since.
Right. It's a lot of drive there with that type of sound. Did that influence your choice of tone as well?
Yeah. Oh, that was the biggest thing, is the tone.
Okay.
As soon as I heard that tone, I remember I literally ran 6 blocks to the music store and said, how do you get that kind of rubber band twangy tone? Because I didn't even know what it was called. And hardly anyone ever heard of Roto Sound strings at the time. I mean, that whole sound was so brand new.
Right.
And then when I found out that Chris Squire and John Entwistle used them, you know, I had them order me a set. They were so expensive. But when I plugged them in, I was like, Roto Sound strings really sound good.
They were very different. Just only the core went over the bridge.
Right.
So you get that real piano string
Right,
kind of
and that's what I was
into it.
looking for. And the DR strings that I use now do exactly that, except the difference between DRs and Roto Sounds is the E string goes dead after like 5 songs.
Okay.
And the DR strings, the E string rings as long as the rest of the thing does.
Right, longer life out of the strings, right?
No offense to DR strings, anybody. I mean, not DR strings,
The
but
Roto
Roto
Sound,
Sounds.
right. So besides strings, what are the other components that go into building a tone like that?
Well, for me, you know, these pickups, these domino pickups right here, are Seymour Duncans, and they stopped making them about 15 years ago, I think, 15 or 20, I'm not sure. But when I got these pickups, they're the most powerful pickups I've ever used, and they run with a battery. I have 2 batteries in it, and they just very overdriven. And there's 2 switches that you can even make it drive even more. So I took the switches and glued them.
Okay.
And I've got 5 sets, and they go into every bass that I get. I mean, at home I got a garage full of basses with no pickups in them. You know, and if whoever I'm endorsing or whatever they give me, I say take these pickups and put them in there. You know, and the good thing is Seymour Duncan. I've been complaining to them for so long. Finally, they're going to give me a dUg pickup.
Oh,
and
nice.
they're going to bring these pickups back out, but they're going to be called dUg pickups.
So it'll be a signature pickup for you?
Yeah, it'll be a
nice.
little different. And we're working on a dUg tone pedal, too.
Okay, great. We'll look forward to that.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
So you've got a Schecter here. Is this what your main bass at this point?
Well, this is my main bass for the moment. I got this maybe a month ago, and I took it on the road and played it, and I love it. But when I get the real one made, there will be 1 pickup. This will be gone, and the neck will be flatter and wider.
Okay, so this is a prototype of a model that's come out. Would that be a signature model for you as well?
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't talked to them yet about it. You know, I wish everything was a signature model, but you know, it all depends on what part of the food chain you're on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
So, but I mean, I'm just thankful for that they give me basses.
Right.
And I love. I was endorsed by another company, and they put dUg right in here, dUg in the inlay. So I kind of like that. So
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
hoping to get that in there too.
Right. So this is a semi-hollow body design.
Yes.
Does that give you a little extra resonance or ring
You
out
know,
of that?
I haven't known anything different.
Yeah.
I can't tell. They told me that there's not much difference. And some people even want them filled up even more. They just like that little hollow body look. When I saw it, I went, oh my God, this is going to look so cool.
Yeah.
All black with black.
Right.
And Ty, our guitar player, he's got a telly that's black and it looks something like this. So the last tour we did, we both came out with our black guitars and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. So pretty simple electronics. Looks like a volume control.
Yep, that's it. I don't like to use anything else. My tone, I'm married to my tone. If I wanna, a lot of times in King's X there'll be parts of songs where you don't need that overdrive. And before I used my Fractal, I had a guitar amp and a bass amp going, so that I would just push my tuner, and it only turns one side off, and it would turn the high end off. And then I have just main old fat low end. People used to think I used to use a distortion pedal, but no, it was just my tuner. And I'd push it off, and then there'd be nothing but low end, but I'd stand there and tune. So you'd hear, and then I'd turn it back on, all of a sudden you'd hear this noise,
right.
And they thought it was a pedal. But yeah, that's how I did it.
So it sounds like you kind of go for almost a biamp kind of a thing then. One side is just the bottom end, and the other side is giving you that top end distortion. Things, which again harkens kind of back to Chris Squire and John Entwistle.
Oh yeah, totally.
Those guys who were kind of driving it that way.
They were the inspiration.
Right. Now, you've also done solo albums, and you've appeared on a number of albums as vocalist too, correct? With Dream Theater and
Dream Theater, Doc, and done a lot of tribute stuff on what's the name? Cleopatra records, AC/DC and Aerosmith and Metallica and tribute songs, things like that. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my new record will be coming out soon, so it'll be 5 solo records.
Right.
In King's X, 15 records, I guess. Something like that.
Wow.
Lose track.
So what is the difference when you're working on a solo album versus on a band album? How do you approach those differently?
Well, the solo record is my ego. It's me. It's all me, and I do it on purpose. I want to play everything. I want everything done exactly what I want to do it. I'm not interested in anybody's suggestions, only because it's my project. And outside of that, I'm wide open with anything else. It's like anything goes. Let's make it all work. And that's why I love to work. Because, you know, we're all control freaks. You know, we're musicians, so we're all picky. But when you get a bunch of people together, somebody's got to give in. Somebody's got to work at it. So I find that it's not enjoyable to tug and pull with people, but it's a necessary evil to make great music. And so I've learned that. But my freedom, my getaway, is to go to my Pro Tools and sit down and go, this is all me, whatever you want. And I love that.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed having you here. We're glad to have you in Sweetwater Studios. I know the workshop's going to be great this weekend.
I'm having a great time here.
It's great.
It's a wonderful place.
Appreciate it. I'm Mitch Gallagher. Thanks for joining me for the Sweetwater Minute.
Peace and love, y'all.